showing you the main campus. We have three campuses. The main one most people study at will be St. Lucia, which is again the beautiful campus. You can see the photos there. As you can see, there's lakes, there's massive sports facilities, modern buildings, very modern buildings, and great architecture as well. So this is, you can see right there. In the background, you can see the city of Brisbane, the center of the city. That's only maybe 20 minutes on a bus. It's not that far, actually. Or there's a river, you see. You can take the ferry there. You can see on the campus, you see lakes, you see sports facilities, you see lots of buildings. It's very comprehensive. Okay, so there is a lot you can do as part of that, being on campus, near the campus, okay? Brisbane is very easy to get around through public transport as well. All right, some other benefits of studying with us, we do have a big focus on careers and employability. We do have a student employment center. There's a lot of things they organize here, just some examples you can see there as well. Obviously, there's limits to things you can do right now in terms of volunteering and workplace things, but that'll improve, obviously, once the current situation improves. But we do have a very comprehensive service here to develop you professionally throughout your degree. And this is what it is, the Student Employability Center. We're really trying to develop our graduates in a very holistic way to make you not just get a job, but also make you more employable. Okay, so that's a service you get from the university as well. At the moment, student support is a very, very important area of what we do. It always has been, but especially now, given the changing environment we face at the moment. So let's talk about the assistance we do: international support, accommodation, and the other items on that list I'll talk through now. But basically, international support is a key thing for what we do. Accommodation, I talked about before. We have a lot of options, and as I said, on campus, off campus, and then huge amounts of off campus accommodation throughout Brisbane, which you can look at. Browse our website, you'll see the many options and see what you like. Okay, makes it very, very easy, and they're guaranteed if you move to Brisbane. Okay, which we do offer. Student support, we have a whole range of student support, from through to counselling, dealing with homesickness and things like that. Now, obviously at the moment you can't come to Brisbane with the border restrictions, but the students who are here, we do have a wide range of support. You can see there about gift hampers, free meals, a lot of support around things like mental health and counselling if students are getting lonely. Obviously they're initially students are feeling more isolated, worried about the corona situation. You look on Instagram, you'll see UQ Life. We have, again, daily updates, daily activities on there to build an online community of our students so they can connect to each other during a time when obviously they have to social distance and things of that nature. Okay. Our state government now also announced a plan for a support package for international students as well. Okay. We also have, government associations like Study Queensland and Study Brisbane. Study Brisbane has shown a lot of initiative in showing support for international students. Here are just some examples of some of the support they do. You can look on their website as well. You see a student support hub, latest information about their corona situation. You'll see this on our website as well, and just details of where further support and information can be found. Okay, as well as also they've been helping directly impact through delivery and things like that. So within the community in Brisbane, there's a lot of support for international students, and now this is, of course, moving to a state government level as well. I know this is a concern for many students, and we're obviously making it a priority to make sure we can do what we can for our international students at this time, okay? And into the future, of course. This is an example here. This is from our Business, Economics and Law faculty, this slide. This is an example of many questions we have at the moment about online delivery. Semester 1 was mostly online. Semester 2 will be mostly online as well. Again, this changes. It's a case-by-case basis, subject-by-subject basis. Some things have practical content, such as some science and engineering programs. What we can do is put you in touch with course coordinators if you have specific questions about that. This is an example from business. Most of the business programs are typically classroom-based. This is what they do in terms of online learning. So weekly planners, discussion boards, pre-recorded lectures that were last semester. Then, of course, they have interactive online groups for tutorials, for academic support, and for advisors as well. You have live sessions, you're still talking with people. Okay. And then, of course, there's still an online community that they develop through global mates and things like that. So again, this is something the university is using for next semester. And obviously the aim is to get back to face-to-face teaching as soon as we are allowed to. Okay. So this is just a very glimpse of something from the business faculty. The humanities, arts, and social science faculty is doing very similar work as well in online teaching. Okay. I apologize. We will have some videos released about this very soon in the coming weeks. So stay on tune with our Instagram and also our website in terms of showing students showing what their experience is like at the moment. I apologize. I don't have any for you this evening. Scholarships, yeah, there's always questions about scholarships. The best thing to do is, we are planning again further scholarships for the next year at the moment. It's a tentative stage, so I can't guarantee anything, but we are hoping to have more semester one next year. What the best thing to do with scholarships, everybody, is actually look on our website. You just go type in Google UQ scholarships. You'll see the page. You'll see there's some for specific programs, and there's some called high achiever scholarships at the moment. Look at these, just browse our website to see if there's any that relate to the subject you want to study, and then you'll see any general ones. And just check on there as well. That'll give you full details in terms of whether you have to do an extra application or whether it's automatic. Again, it will vary depending on the scholarships, but there are a lot of scholarships listed on that page. And for those of you who are planning next year, we are planning to have some more for next year as well. That's the best advice I can give at this stage, is just to keep updated on that website, because there's our faculties will sometimes launch their own scholarships, and sometimes we have general ones as well. Okay, so just keep updated on that, and you should receive, and again, if you fill out the inquiry page as well, you should get email updates about the scholarship situation as well from time to time. All right. In terms of applying, let's just check the next slide. Okay, so applying. Yeah, there's a few things I need to say here. First of all, of course, we're doing this presentation tonight in conjunction with IGEC, who's one of our trusted agents for UQ. So obviously they can help you with the application process. That's going to be a free service they provide.
Daniel, your voice has been low.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, no, it's better now.
Okay, I think I just have to sit very close to this laptop. Sorry that you get a close to my face. Yeah, so IGEC can help you with your application. They'll help you again free of charge, and they'll help you with when the time comes, a visa application. Now, if you are studying online for semester 2, you don't require a visa application, but if you do plan to come to Australia later, you will need a visa application, and IGEC will assist you with that. All right. Our application process changes depending on what you're applying for. So with undergraduate or foundation studies or postgraduate, IGC can obviously help you with that through our website. It's fairly straightforward. You need your academic results. You will need at some point we have a GTE, which is a genuine tertiary entrant. You may have to submit a paper about that to talk about your study plans. And again, IGEC will guide you through that. English language tests. Now, typically most students will need this. You need to do IELTS. Most programs, the score required is 6.5, band scores of 6. There are some programs which have higher scores than that for undergraduate and postgraduate. At the moment, I know many students, it's hard to do IELTS. It's not available. Just on our website, they've released now a range of other tests you can take. Things called, password tests that you can take. Do you want me to show that in detail, Rawabi?
Yeah, maybe like just the link to the English tests where they can find it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me stop sharing this.
Yeah, the English test. Yes.
Sure. So just give me a moment. Everyone, I have this open. It's closed down on me. Okay, so all right, we'll try that again. Okay, here we go. So you can see here this again on our website. You'll see the latest information we have about the corona situation. and in terms of the support, but also here's semester 2 frequently asked questions. Now IGEC have a copy of this as well. So we're starting obviously early August, and the census date being the end of August. Advice here has also been listed about some of you, maybe if you're doing A-levels or IB, what you can do in place of that. If you can't get certain certificates in time, you can, there are certain things you can do around that. But I'll skip to the English section. Okay, so you can see English language proficiency. The good news is we do accept, usually we put a 2-year validity on IELTS. You can see there, it's been taken within 3 years. We still accept it now. Okay. If I'm able to take IELTS, TOEFL, or PTE, then there's these other online tests you can take as well at the moment, which are password skills, language skill, general, and also another version of TOEFL as well. So if you do also through an online, one of our approved agents like IGC, there's also an IELTS indicator test you can do as well. Okay. So there are some other options. We've just released this information yesterday, actually. So brand new. There's some other alternatives because we know it's hard some places now to take IELTS tests in person. So these are some temporary alternatives that you can use. Okay, and IGC can help guide you on these as well. All right. Okay, I've sent a copy of this also to IGC, who can also send this to you after this presentation as well. All right. So good news, there are alternatives to IELTS for now. Okay, so just going back to the presentation. You can see this okay? So the key thing here is really what I need to explain to everybody is that that's typically the application process I talked about for undergraduate and postgraduate. If you're looking at a higher research degree, that application is actually going through a separate school. So if you go for undergraduate or postgraduate, it goes through our international admissions team. For research degrees like PhD, that actually goes through our graduate school. I'm not as familiar with that process as I am with the others, but essentially you can look on our website. It will give you a guide in terms of what you need. Typically, it's very similar to what I talked about before. On our website, you can see it will talk about you need to basically submit an initial, basically we'll list all the research projects we're doing at the moment. Now, rather than simply going in and spamming the university about, a lot of students do that, they'll just copy and paste and just find the first academic they can find and just send off a copy and pasted proposal. What we recommend is go through our website, look at the projects that are open, and then looking for students, and then apply to those if you think you have interest of that. It should also list the academics' contact details on there. If not, then also you can go through IGC, and they can help you apply through our graduate school. The graduate school is the one who will review your application. You will need at least 2 academic references as well as part of that. Okay, so in terms of the time frame for that, it's hard to say because at the moment, there's not many, for this second semester, there's not many research projects happening because of the restrictions on face-to-face, but then they will let us know as soon as spots are opening up. So the website is the best place to keep up to date with that. Let's see if I can find that for you now as well. So sorry that I'm going a bit back and forth, but there's a lot of information on the website to share. So bear with me. So here we are. Sorry for the pause. So yeah, basically you can go to our graduate school on the website. Rabavi, can you see this okay?
Yes, I can.
Right, so you can see on here is basically, it will tell you, I mean, the requirements will differ depending on which PhD you're doing. They're also about scholarships we have for PhD and higher research degrees on here as well. And very importantly, again, is really the different steps you have. So checking your eligibility. Okay, so how to apply, this will guide you through that, depending on what you're looking for. Find a contact supervisor. The key thing there is to see down here, you click on one of these and it will show you the projects that are available in research. And then, of course, you go prepare documentation, and it'll tell you what you need: academic CV, your transcripts, obviously, English requirements, a copy of your passport eventually, contact details of 2 referees, I imagine preferably academic ones, and then, of course, you send through all these documents. Okay, and eventually you'll need some other documents to prove your identity as well. Okay, and then you apply online as well. Key thing is really trying to make sure that you see that the project, you're not wasting your time applying for something which we don't really teach. And that happens surprisingly a lot, where people just find a contact detail and send it to the university. Key thing is making sure we're teaching something which you can find on this website, which is interested in the research area that you're interested in as well. Okay, so the graduate school will then review that application for you. Okay, it may take some time to review, but yeah, the graduate school will confirm for you. Okay, so jumping back now to the main presentation. Okay, so all right, yeah, so that's a bit of a general guide for you as well, in terms of for Jordan, some general application guidelines here. If you're doing IB or A-levels there at all, essentially an international school, then that's typically what we would usually accept. Anything else than that, you may need to look into a foundation program. Good. For postgraduate programs, again, students, as it says there, need a 4-year bachelor degree recognized and is the Australian equivalent. Okay, and then it comes down to which course you're applying for at UQ as well. Okay, we convert that to a 7-point scale, and then for GTE, yeah, we need to.
Daniel, your voice again is.
Sorry. You need to the GTE. You need to look at the agent into a GTE checklist as well, which Ravi's team will guide you through. Okay, but that's something you'd worry about if you're applying for a visa. All right, so there you go. That's a very quick guide to that. All right, so that's just a very, very quick run through then about the university and about the current situation and a little bit about the application process. Okay, so how was that, Rawabi?
Thank you, Daniel. It was great. I'll just need to translate a little bit for the students. I will introduce my colleagues. Mr. Mohammed Al-Khatib, he's our manager in Jordan branch. And there's Walid, he's my colleague. He's the senior counselor for Australia, for applying for Australian universities. Also, there is Mr. Bilal from eijek, Lebanon. He is with us. Can you just unmute? Can you unmute Mr. Mohammed Al-Khatib so he can speak now? Yeah. Okay.
What was the name again? Sorry.
I did.
Yeah.
No, I did, Daniel. How are you, Daniel? This is Walid speaking. Yeah, okay, I unmuted Mr. Mohammed Al-Khatib so he can speak now for you. I'm not sure.
Maybe he's not hearing us. وليد بتحب تحكي؟ تفضل. أو أستاذ محمد.
Hello.
تفضل.
Yes, there we go.
All good?
Mr. Daniel, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah, Mohammed Khatib, the country manager of eijek, Jordan. Nice to meet you here. Appreciated your presentation. Yeah, to giving us all information needed about your great university. And I got reputation for university. Anyway, أهلا وسهلا بالجميع. Allow me to speak Arabic for our participants, Mr. Daniel.
No problem. Sure.
أهلا وسهلا بالجميع إخواننا الأعزاء المشتركين في هذا الويبنار من جامعة University of Queensland. طبعا هي جامعة أسترالية لها يعني سمعة عالية جدا من ضمن الجامعات اللي معترف فيها بالتعليم العالي الأردني هون، وإحنا طبعا وكلاء رسميين لهذه الجامعة. مهمتنا طبعا هي إحضار القبولات من هذه الجامعة بالذات، وثم متابعة إصدار التأشيرة الفيزا الدراسية في حالة فتح الحدود أو فتح السفارة إن شاء الله تعالى، وأي خدمة بيحتاجها الطالب من هاي الجامعة كوننا الوكلاء الرسميين بالأردن. وأعتقد إحنا ممكن نكون وحيدين بالأردن بنساعد الطالب في الالتحاق بهاي الجامعة، ومن ثم مساعدته في إصدار الفيزا من السفارة الأسترالية في عمان، ومن ثم استقبال الطالب في المطار وأي شيء بده الطالب خلال وجوده داخل أستراليا. حقيقة إحنا الآن مداومين موجودين بالمكتب في دوام رمضان من 10 صباحا حتى 4 مساء، وراح نكون بشكل رسمي يعني فول تيم، راح يكون إن شاء الله تعالى بعد العيد ب 26/5 من الساعة 9 صباحا حتى الساعة 5 مساء. أي طالب بحب يتوجه للمكتب بزيارتنا وأخذ المزيد من المعلومات عن هاي الجامعة، إحنا جاهزين بالخدمة. وشكرا للحضور وشكرا للمساهمة. Thank you, Daniel. It's your turn now.
Oh, my turn. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm sorry about the audio issues. It just seems to happen when I have PowerPoint going. I think it's a memory issue. But just I've been looking at the questions in the chat. So just there's a few questions here about scholarships. Like I said, the best thing to do is look on our website. It'll list them for general programs. It'll also list them for the higher research degree programs as well. There's actually probably too many to go through one by one. All right, and I don't know everyone's area of interest, but we do have scholarships listed on the website. Someone's asking me a question about from high school. Generally, it depends. If you're doing sort of A-level or IB, you can submit your transcripts before you do the exam, and they should be able to give you a conditional offer based on that. They would advise you if you need anything else. We're aware that a lot of the exams have been postponed around the world, so mostly we can accept high school transcripts for those kinds of programs. If that's the case, if it's something a local one, then we'd probably need to look at a foundation program. Okay. Most of the questions I can see here are about scholarships. So what I'll do is I'll share with you all the scholarship page, because I know you're all asking me many questions about scholarships. That's fine. Every student and parent usually asks me lots of questions about scholarships. So give me one moment. I'll share this with you all. Okay, so hopefully I've got the right page here. This is right. So everyone, if you want to look here, you can see the scholarship page is again, Google scholarships or scholarships.uq.edu.au. And basically you can just scroll down on here. You can filter the different options here. You can see there's a number of PhD ones here. There you go. Energy simulation, industrial research gas. Scroll down and look at the ones we have. It'll tell you who they're for. If you click on the detail, it'll tell you the closing date. It'll tell you who, some are certain countries, so some are open for all. So you can see there's a number of PhD ones there as well. So this is the best site to go through and see what you have. And again, looking at your subject of interest, if there's anything there, you can check on the graduate school page as well. So yeah, I would just encourage you. You can see it's a long list on here as well. So just scroll through and see what you can find as well, because many of them will be faculty specific as well. All right, so that's just, there's plenty on there. You need to take your time to have a look to see what is appropriate for you. Okay. All right, hopefully everyone could clear that okay. Yeah, so again, people asking me about very specific questions about law. Like I said, we do have a law school here at the university. Again, the key thing to do would be go to the graduate school page, look at the kind of research they're looking at in terms of law, when that would be open, and then try and contact, we'll have the details there where you can contact an academic as well to try and learn more. So generally, if you think you're interested in the research they're doing, you would contact the academic to sort of learn more and to see whether there's much matching up between what you want to do and what they're looking at. The last thing you want to do is spend your time sort of going back and forth and realizing that there's nothing in common with what we're trying to do.
Sorry, حمام جوا.
Yeah, Roabi, yes.
I think Ms. Inas from Lebanon office wants to ask who's my colleague.
There's a question.
Yeah, a question from my colleague from Lebanon.
Yes, everybody.
Hello.
نعم.
Yes, Inas.
بالحمام آخر باب.
Inas.
ألو.
Inas. Inas.
Hi.
Yes, please, تفضلي.
Yes, I have a question regarding the COVID-19. All Lebanese students at high school were exempted from the official exam. So they can get a certificate from their school says that they passed their high school. Is it does it work to apply or to register at the university?
So is that for what type of curriculum are they studying? Is that A levels or international baccalaureate? What kind of high school is that?
Sorry?
شو اللي معه يا إناس؟ شو اللي معه إناس؟ هاي سكول ولا إيش اللي معه للطالب؟
للهاي سكول ما قدموها. They didn't apply for the official high school exam at the Ministry of Education.
Sure. Yeah, but do you mean, is it, we have different rules, obviously admissions rules for different curriculum. So are we talking about students who are studying A levels or international baccalaureate, or is it a different high school system? Is it a local high school system?
It's a grade 12.
Sure. So, all right. If it's not, it's probably better to email me something about that.
Nadia, it is national program in Lebanon. It's national program in Lebanon.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry about that. I'm not as familiar with that. So most of them around the world, I would suggest email me and I can double check with admissions. They will be understanding if you say the exams have been pushed back, and I'll just double check with them what they'll allow. Okay, because they've made many exceptions this year for when exams have been postponed. So just double check email me, and I'll confirm that with the admissions team for you. So I'm fairly sure they'd make some concessions, but I'm not an expert on that one. So I just need to double check with the admissions team. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. Sorry for the misunderstanding. Okay. Yeah, so as I said, you just, you may, talking about the supervisor, you don't really necessarily need to. You can apply prior to that. It's just sometimes worthwhile to try and see if you have details about their research. They may reply if it's more specific, but you don't necessarily need to contact them directly. You can apply without having a professor. Okay, just answer that question on the chat. I understand many of them, yeah, that's why it's best, again, to go through the process online with the graduate school. They can help with that. Any problems, you would let IGEC know, and myself, and we can try and help follow up for you if you are not getting a response. Okay. So yeah, as I said, don't necessarily have to contact an academic as part of that, but on that website, it will give you contact details you can search, and sometimes it's interesting to do that. You may research the professor to see what their background is and things like that, and then to see if that's of interest. Their research stuff they've been doing historically is of interest to what you're doing as well. It's important to know their background, who you'll be learning under. In terms of transferring for a PhD, I'm not, a question in the chat, I'm not actually sure. I haven't encountered that question before. Again, it's something I would need to double check. So I recommend, Rana, that you email IGEC and they'll go through me and we'll check with the graduate school what they say. In terms of transferring credit for a PhD, I'm not entirely, if you've already started 1 year of it, I'm not entirely sure about that. It's the first time I've got that question. So sorry, I can't give you a more direct answer.
Daniel?
Yes, hello.
Can you answer Rana Sabbag?
Yeah, I think I just tried, but I can't give a direct answer at the moment. I'm not sure if it is possible to transfer PhD programs partway through. It will be mildly complicated because of what they're trying to do. And then everyone's asking me questions about scholarships. So this is, as I said, go through the scholarship page. That'll detail the scholarships for you. And each scholarship, you can click the link and it will show you the terms and conditions and the requirements of each scholarship. Okay? On that page, I can't actually go through one by one. So there's a very comprehensive website we have.
Daniel, I'll just talk in Arabic because I am having some questions from my WhatsApp.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, you just mentioned something about English tests. I'll just answer them. للجميع زي ما تفضل دانيال، الامتحانات اللي عندهم هلا حاليا لأنه الآيلتس ما بتقدروا تعملوه، عندهم 4 أو 5 أنواع امتحانات جديدة فيكم تعملوهم، منهم توفل هوم إديشن، منهم آيلتس إنديكيتور، وكمان 3 أو 4 امتحانات. زي ما تفضل أستاذ محمد، تقدر تيجوا عنا على المكتب. يعني إحنا بنقدر نعطيكم التفاصيل عن كيف التقديم للجامعة، تقديم للمنح، البي اتش دي، البكالوريوس والماجستير، وبلس إنه بنقدر نعطيكم التكاليف اللي للجامعة، تكاليف المعيشة والفرق بينها بين ال other cities، لأنه زي ما تفضل دانيال أول البرزنتيشن، كوينزلاند هي تعتبر أقل تكلفة من ناحية المعيشة من باقي الولايات الموجودة. فبالنسبة للسكولارشيبس أو أي شيء تقدر تسألونا في المكتب. طبعا الأرقام أنا هلأ راح أحط لكم إياها موجودة. إحنا بالأردن اسمنا الماسا، وفي فرع لبنان اسمهم ايجك لبنان. فأي حدا بده يعرف أي شيء إحنا هلا راح ننزل الأرقام على الشات سواء فرعنا أو فرع لبنان. بليز أستاذ بلال أو إيناس نزلوا فرع لبنان الأرقام. Thank you. Okay, Daniel, you can proceed.
Sure. Okay. So a lot of the questions, messages coming through about very, very specific programs. And like I said, I'd suggest you take the time to read about them on the website, because I'm unable to go through each one in great detail today because we have so many people on the chat and on the call. But it'll list the subjects they're required as well. So sorry to everyone who's asking me very specific questions about a particular PhD or a particular program. But again, what I'd recommend is any further questions after today, go through the local IGC ops. They obviously have my contact details and they can filter those questions through to me to where I can assist and ask the graduate school where possible. Keeping in mind, again, there's some issues with the graduate school right now for research programs because there's only certain limitations on what research we can do face-to-face at the moment. Okay, so we're waiting for their advice when they can accept fresh applications, but just keep an eye on that website and we'll let you know which research projects are still open at the moment as well. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that's useful for you. So you can see everyone in the chat, IGEC has shared their contact details for their offices on there as well. So anything, as I said, if you have anything admissions related for anything particular you've studied, there are a few examples coming through now in the chat. Simply email that through to IGEC. They'll contact me and we'll look through our admissions team to see what would be acceptable, okay? Because they can give you a definitive answer on that. All right. Again, I'm not from the admissions team, so I can give you general advice. But to confirm if you would get an offer, just contact IGC and then they'll pass through me and we will see through the admissions team or graduate school if we can help with that. Okay. So again, for most degrees at the moment, to answer that last question from Ahmad, we are teaching online most programs for semester 2, 2020. The hope is as soon as we can return to face-to-face teaching that we will do that. But the initial plan for most programs is online teaching for semester 2. Yeah. So that means if you are studying an undergraduate or postgraduate program, most of those programs you could study actually from your home country the next semester. All right. So yeah, hopefully that helps. So what we'll do, everybody, I've sent a copy of this presentation and of this the fact sheet you're seeing on the screen right now. I've sent a copy of that to Rawabi and IGEC. They will send us a copy of this to you if you registered with them for tonight. they'll send a copy of this out so you can review that as well. And then please, after that, have a read through the website, then come back with any sort of really specific questions. Most of the things you'll find will be on the website. So if not, then anything really particular about admissions, come back to us and let us know, and I'll check with the team.
Daniel, the last question, sorry, on WhatsApp is coming. His undergraduate from Beirut University or Lebanon University, can they transfer? They are at their third year.
Yeah, look, potentially. I mean, a situation like that, you would obviously send the transcripts through to our admissions team, through the agent. They do a comparison, so there might be an academic who may do a comparison with the curriculum. You probably need to send through the curriculum as well, in terms of coursework, and then they can do a comparison to see what matches up and how much credit you would get. There are limitations in Australia on how much credit you can get if you want to transfer to Australia. So typically, unless there's a set agreement, you maybe in the past you needed to do at least 2 years in Australia study. But sometimes there are exceptions if there are certain partnerships in place. So, but generally you would submit transcripts, you would submit the curriculum you're studying, and that will get reviewed by our admissions team and possibly some other academics. So to answer that question, possibly, yes. It just takes a little bit of time if there's no formal articulation already in place, because there has to be a review process has to be conducted.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry if I'm being a little bit vague this evening. I'm not an expert on some of the areas for some of these countries for admissions. So my policy is generally I'll double check the questions with admissions to make absolutely sure with some of the questions that come through. But again, I'm more than happy to help with that follow up later on. Yeah, so somebody asking about short-term things like postgraduate diploma. Yeah, we do have grad certs and graduate diplomas and things like that. You can see that on some programs, not all programs, but yes, for some of them we do. But generally, as I said, we just updated our website. It's called Future Students website today. There should be an example you can go through there, look at the programs you want to find. If you can't find it, then we don't offer it, but it should be much more user-friendly now. If you have any problems, just let us know. But we've just updated that to try and make it better for our students who are searching for this kind of information. Just updated, I think, yesterday morning, actually. So, no, this morning. So brand new website for you.
Sorry, Mr. Daniel, I got a question.
Sure.
We do have like a placement test for the English proficiency. I don't know if the student doesn't have
English. We don't have
English.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just show these here on my screen, so I don't know where that line came from. These are some of the alternatives to IELTS. So we don't have a UQ one, but we now accept these other ones here. So if you don't have IELTS, PTE, or TOEFL, you can look at these other online options at the moment. Password Skills, Language Skill General, and another TOEFL version as well. So these are some alternatives you can, and these are online tests, which we didn't used to accept, but now we do, obviously, in lieu of there being very few IELTS tests available at the moment. So we won't have something, we may have something internally if students are internally, but not within the entry. Typically, you need to do one of these tests for it to be recognized in the process. Okay.
Right.
Cool. All right. Just checking what else we have here. I'm hoping I've answered most people's questions. People asking me about PCELT degree. I'm not familiar with that. So I would say submit that through IGC, and I will pass that to my admissions team to have a check for you. Okay. Some people are typing me messages in Arabic. I apologize. I do not speak or read Arabic. Sorry about that.
No, that's, I think, Rabi just posted. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, some people saying thank you. Right. Okay. How are we, Rabi? Do you want me to stay on time a little bit longer?
Thank you. I guess probably we're done with the chat questions, but I'm not sure if everybody knows how to send questions through chat. Can you unmute them? Is it okay with you? If they have
Yeah,
final
generally there might be a bit too much background noise and things, and it's usually
yeah.
no, it's just usually everyone talks one over each other, so I don't generally do it. I can try it. So I would still say I'll unmute everybody, but if there's too much noise, I might have to put it back on mute. Because usually everyone's at home, so there's usually a lot of background noise and can't really hear anyone.
I've done before.
Here we go. Oh, it's just.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so sorry, it's a little bit incomprehensible. Everyone's at home, so everyone's got families and things in the background, so it's pretty noisy. But look, everybody, as I said, the team, I don't know if Ravi, you want to share your screen, share your contact details of the offices there, I'll put that in the chat so that people can, again, everybody, there's my contact details are there, my email address, but I think the first point you should, again, visit Great Student Support would be IGEC in your local country. So